So, how do you grab people's attention? How do you get people to listen to you? If you're on a Zoom call, how do you get people to pay attention instead of them having a sneaky look at their email on their phone? How do you get people to open your email? How do you get people to read your ad or your social media post? How do you get people to pay attention when you stand up to give a presentation? Here's one key thing I've learned. Always start with a problem. Nobody is paying attention to you until you start talking about a problem and a problem that they can relate to. Why? Because, well, that's just the way our minds work. Our brains are wired problem, solution, problem, solution, problem, solution. But so many times we step up and say, here's our solution, but we never actually mention the problem. Let's give an example. For instance, let's say, I don't know, you sell duvets. If I sell duvets, I don't want to say, hey, I sell duvets, they're duck feather and 12 tog and whatever. What I want to say is, does being cold and uncomfortable in bed at night stop you sleeping? I sell the most snuggly, cozy duvets to give you a fantastic night's sleep. All of a sudden, my duvet makes a lot more sense. Let's say you met a couple of accountants. You know these accountants, well, they'll do your books, they'll prepare your tax return, and they'll complete your annual accounts, all those sorts of things. So, and you say to the first one, what do you do? And they'll say, I'm an accountant. You'd probably say, oh, that's interesting. You might find a couple of questions to ask them, but you're probably not going to take their number or call them again, and it probably won't make you think about changing your accountant. But if you met the second accountant and you say, well, what do you do? And they said, well, you know, most business owners don't really have the real-time numbers on the state of their business finances, day to day, week to week, month to month. I'm an accountant and I show businesses what is really happening in their business to help them to drive them to make the best business decisions. So let me ask you, which accountant is likely to get the most business? I'll tell you, it's the second one. He's going to get all of the business, or she, because they started with the problem. So here's the actual magical understanding. You've got to have everything that you sell as a solution. Everything you sell is a solution. If it's not a solution, it isn't going to sell. And if it's not solving a problem, nobody's going to want it. But until you actually define the problem, the solution's not going to make any sense. You go up to somebody and say, I don't know, it's a bit like medicine. If you went up to someone and said, hey, do you want to buy some medicine? They'd probably think you're selling something backstreet and dodgy. But if you go to somebody and say, you know, when you have a headache and you say, this medicine really works, they're going to say something like, gosh, you know, I do get headaches, or my son, he often gets headaches, because now they know the solution that you provide. But your solution doesn't make sense until you find the problem. And everybody is wondering, why should they listen to you? And whenever you define the problem, that's when they realize, now I know why I should listen to you. Okay, so start defining the problem that you solve, and people will start paying attention to you.